Hi! Right, around a month ago, Fuji updated the software for the XT3 cameras to version 4.0. This brings it in line much more with the XT4. In fact, it's identical now apparently. The autofocus has been improved from 60 milliseconds down to just 20 milliseconds. Wow! Is that noticeable? I hope so. We're going to update the firmware on one of these cameras. In fact, I already have on the XT3 here, my black one. And on my silver one, I've yet still to do it. So we'll go through the process. But anyway, it offers increased tracking performance, all in line with the XT4. So I think it's absolutely fantastic that Fuji should issue these firmware updates on cameras that are now a couple of years old. I mean, I've had this one for 2 years. This one only about a month. Having sold my XT20 and I got the XT3, this has come down in price quite a bit now. So great value for money now. Anyway, aside from that, autofocus tracking, eye focus, face focus, all that has been radically improved. It's now got double the tracking performance, and the AF performance is now down to just -7 EV, which is pretty dark, yeah. Also, a focus limiter has been added, which means if you're shooting within a certain range, say 1 to 2 to 3 meters or whatever, you can prevent the focus from going outside that predefined focus area, basically, which is great for close-up shots, maybe relatively close-up shots of insects, butterflies, things like that. So I think it's absolutely fantastic that Fuji should retrofit their cameras and bring them up to date with the latest hardware. Absolutely brilliant. All you have to do is go onto the Fuji website, download version 4.0. You can do this via the app, by the way, the Fuji app, but I prefer the old way. I find it more reliable to do it the old-fashioned way, if you like, doing it via the computer, where you simply download the app version 4.00 and then you copy that to your memory card. You must make sure that the memory card is fully formatted in the camera, and also be absolutely sure your camera battery is fully charged too. Because if that were to stop midway during the firmware upload, you probably balls the whole thing up. Who knows? It may have to go back to Fuji, or at the very least you'd have to completely reset your camera. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a very good idea to do that, so avoid that. Okay, so now let's update my silver XT3 to version 4.00. So press and hold down the black button, then turn the camera on. Around 3 seconds later, you'll have your current firmware info. So I'm going to proceed and update this camera. Oh no! I hadn't checked if the battery was fully charged, and indeed it was only showing about 2/3 full. Phew! But at least you get a warning, thank goodness for that. So, I swapped the batteries round for a fully charged one, which of course I should have checked in the first place, and really this was not intentional. What would have been worse though, as I mentioned earlier, would have been if the camera had powered off during the update. Disastrous. Fully charged battery essential. Okay. So it was good to see just what happened if the battery was too low. You get a warning first. Thanks Fuji for that. Idiots like me shouldn't be let loose with technology. But anyway, all's good now, and it's all updated. So now I have 2 XT3s that function just like the XT4 as far as the focusing is concerned. So that is absolutely brilliant. So we're going to perform some focus tracking experiments for one of these cameras before the firmware update and one after, to see if we can see any difference. Okay? Right. See you soon. Drop. Yeah, up. Down. Up. Yeah, that's okay. Does it look sharp? Okay. Okay, new firmware on the other XT3. Let's see how it goes. Okay. That's me go. Is it following that? No? Is it following me?
Yeah.
Okay, it's following me?
Yeah.
But not this face. It's not programmed, the algorithm. Can't see that. Okay, so follow me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had both cameras on the same fast tracking and response, erratic movement. There's a few squats in the process. Yeah, well, okay? Hopefully. Clearly the upload has made the focus so much faster, much more responsive too, and the focus tracking, well, speedy, yeah. Okay, so it's not been a scientific test, obviously, but a real world test, and that's all we need, I think. So I think absolutely brilliant. I'm really pleased it's now brought these cameras up to the same sort of spec as the XT4, minus the in-body stabilisation, of course, and also minus the flippy round, fully reticulating monitor, which is useful. The IBIS for me, though, a key thing for filming. The very first upgrade I did before upgrading the body was to the 1680 lens. I hadn't realised that this was 2 versions behind when I checked it out yesterday, and I thought, blimey, I better upgrade this first. Yes, I was a tad late to the party, but I know I've already shown this procedure before. How to check your camera's firmware. Before you turn the camera on, you press the display back button, then you turn it on, and then you get the version of both the body and the lens that you've got currently. So you can see with this I've got version 4.00 and the lens is version 1.05, and I had 1.03. Hadn't even realised, and that was back in the summer those updates were issued, so I hadn't even realised. But the main improvement to the lens has been the OIS, which was already fantastic. So I've yet to try this, if I can hand hold it down to more than a second maybe on the wide angle setting, who knows? Maybe even the telephoto. I don't think it'd be quite that good, but you never know. But anyway, kudos to Fuji for all these upgrades and constantly improving these cameras. That's absolutely awesome. So thank you, Fuji. I'll see you next time, folks. Cheers for now. Bye.